So we've come to the end of 2023, and it's time to look back at the best and the worst that the Black Series gave us in 2023.
Black Series worst, number 5. So our 5th worst figure of the year is the Holocom Han Solo, and it's for multiple reasons. I like the Holocom collection. I think it's better than the Credit Collection or the Carbonized Collection, but this figure doesn't make a lot of sense in this with the puck and everything. It makes sense as far as there'd be a bounty of Han, but the other thing is it's an older figure, and in the translucent blue, you can really see those old hinges and old joints and everything, whereas it works better in the other two, and in like Bo-Katan and Mandalorian. I hope this concept gets used in other figures, but this was a pretty bagged figure. Black Series Best, number 5. So I know he has a higher rating for just about anybody else in their top 5 or, year-end stuff. But Darth Malgus is not a favorite of mine, so it wasn't one I was looking for. It's still an awesome figure. I love the way the cloth hood fits on the head very tightly. They did a lot of good stuff, the detail underneath the mask and all of that. But, I still think it's a great figure. It's still my top 5 figure. It's not one I was looking for here, and yet I still think it's an awesome figure. Black Series worst, number 4. So this figure could have been a lot better with better execution. If it came with a Luke, if it had a better display, if it just didn't look like a paint-splattered Darth Vader. I don't know. I love the Revenge artwork. It's one of my favorite pieces, and Darth Vader is my favorite character. But this was just kind of an odd choice and an odd exclusive, and it's still available out there. It's not horrible, but if I'm ranking like the 5 worst figures of the year, this is going to be number 4 for me. Black Series Best, number 4. Again, not one of my favorite characters out there, but Darth Malak, the execution on this figure is just brilliant. The fact that you can remove the little jaw piece, you see the mutated jaw underneath, he has a little half cape, all the little details and everything that went into this. It is a great figure. It's not one of my favorite characters, but a great figure, and enough to be one of my top figures of the year. Black Series Worst, number 3. I know people love General Grievous, and the original release of Grievous has been somewhat hard to get, so a re-release could be useful. But this figure was almost useless. I mean, this was put out as a GameStop exclusive. It doesn't come with the cape that was on the original. It's supposed to be battle damage, which means somebody put a little tiny bit of paint on there. And the problem is, as longtime collectors, we see battle damage, and we're thinking like that battle damage Clone Wars 3 3/4 inch figure that came years ago with the face with pieces missing and an arm missing and stuff, and that's not this at all. And it was kind of, for the most part, a lame figure. It's not that the Grievous figure is horrible. Was this really needed? Black Series Best, number 3. Now, Doc Onder is such a great release for multiple reasons. Number 1, we're getting a great figure of a brand new character that was created just for the Disney parks. But it also means that, we're going to get a Hammerhead or Momaw Nadon or whatever you want to call him in the future because of this mold that we got. And it came with some cool accessories. The way that you can put the cloak on, where it's a cloth cloak, but then it's got a plastic piece that goes over it that keeps it down. There was so much good about it. And it's a good sculpt, good paint. Everything that came with it. Yeah, it's a Disney park exclusive. Yeah, it wasn't the cheapest figure, but it's such a good figure. Black Series Worst, number 2. And getting down to some of the worst figures of 2023, there's figures I didn't buy. And ultimately, I felt that the TIE Pilot, the carbonized TIE Pilot, that came in this 2-pack with that Emperor's Royal Garden TIE Pilot, was an Amazon exclusive, was one of the worst figures. Number 1, this is one of the things that made me say, I don't need to buy all the carbonized figures, and so I didn't buy this. Now, if it ever goes cheap, I might buy it. I've heard the Royal Guard is awesome, the way the carbonized looked on it. But the TIE Pilot, was this really needed? It really made me think things, especially with being a 2-pack with the price on it and carbonized, and I'm like, I don't need this. And so ultimately, it's one of my worst figures because I didn't even buy it. Black Series Best, number 2. Now, anytime you make a best and worst list, there's bias that comes in, whether it's favorite characters or not like characters you don't like, or movies or shows that you like or don't like. And that plays a part in this. And my number 2 figure here is Galen Merrick, or Starkiller. Now, does it come in an expensive box set? Absolutely. But that expensive box set has a lot of cool stuff in it. All the different accessories, give it way more than you get in the single box one. I've loved Force Unleashed. I like that we get 3 different head pieces for this, the 2 different lightsabers, the different lightsaber effects, the lightning effects, the different hands, all of that stuff. And if you watch my review video, I showed all sorts of different ways you could pose this and set it up in your collection. I think it's a great figure. Yes, you get 2 stormtroopers, but it's to kind of create that box that you see on the cover of the game. And, the stormtroopers, are they really necessary? No, but it's kind of cool to get all of that together. So I think this is an awesome figure, and it is my number 2 figure of the year. Black Series, the worst, number 1. Again, this is a figure so bad, I didn't buy it. It's, again, Carbonized Collection, a set that I don't see a point to anymore. And I'm sure the HK-87 kind of works as a Carbonized figure, but the Ahsoka, did we need this? And again, it was a re-release of the Ahsoka. How many different releases of the Ahsoka did we get? And a Carbonized one, and this was a 2-pack, and it was an overpriced 2-pack. Do not need it. I'm hoping Carbonized is completely gone. I'm tired of it, and I was hoping that it would be used for cool things like maybe C-3PO or Captain Phasma or things like that. But no, we're just going to repaint things and put Carbonized on them. So this Carbonized Ahsoka is my worst figure of 2023. Black Series Best, number 1. Again, a bias comes into play, but I mean, this Darth Vader is awesome. This is the Duel's End Darth Vader, whatever they called it. It was a Target exclusive 6-inch figure, and just the detail that went into it. Is half of it like a re-release? Yeah, but being able to see the Anakin face underneath, the idea that even though I didn't take mine apart, I know that head is fully painted underneath there. All the detail that went into it, whether it's with the damage on the chest plate, there's even a slash on the back through the cape. There was a lot of great detail that went into this figure that just made it so awesome. I looked forward to it so much for when it came out, and when it finally got there and I looked at it, I just held it for a long time, and I kept staring at it. It was so cool. Is it another Darth Vader? Yeah. But this was kind of a necessary Darth Vader. When we all saw that scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi, we all wanted this figure. And then Hasbro delivered a really great figure. So my number 1 figure 2023 has to be the Duel's End Darth Vader.